What's good, y'all? It's your gearhead, Mr. Logic himself, and you already know I got my lovely co-host.
It's me, Nate. It's me.
And your boy Surzan, you already know what it is. Back of the bus, how it is.
And make sure if this is your first time hitting us, man, you hit that subscribe and like button, as you already know, man. And it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. I am tired.
What?
I am fucking tired.
I don't know what's been crazy. What's been crazy?
Life, man.
Yeah,
Everything. So,
you know what
Brain
else
fart.
is crazy? How much I saved. Switch mic and shops. That was bad. I'm
What?
sorry. I couldn't get it out. I laugh at my own jokes too much. How much I saved when I switched my car insurance to Geico.
this guy.
Bad
Sounds rough.
jokes all around.
Oh, shit. How was your day, love?
It was pretty good, pretty busy. Errands, stuff like that. You know, me.
Errands?
I'm not that.
Errands?
I'm not that.
Errands?
What's it called?
Interesting.
I'm not that interesting for today.
Bro, it was gridlock like a motherfucker on my way over here.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys got the photo because it literally sent like a few minutes ago. That's how bad. I have bad service, whatever, Metro. But
I told you about that.
no, it's
You a
cheap.
grown man.
I don't care. It's
You're a
cheap.
grown man.
What are you gonna tell me to not save money?
It's
Metro,
not-
Metro PCS works.
Okay. Okay. Before we even go into that, I'm angry with you because you worked at Best Buy at the time and you could have gone for the discount and it would have been the same thing you're
And
paying
now-
for your Metro for a better carrier.
And now I don't work at Best Buy.
you
so
still
that-
keep it for the year.
And then
No, you actually really don't, because when I left that shit, like, I started paying retail price like a month later, like the next billing cycle.
Oh yeah, so I,
I was
would have
very disappointed.
royally fucked
I
myself.
was like,
You know, I paid $350 for this phone. It's the iPhone XR. I paid $350 for this.
that's the XR.
Yeah, it's
Let me see.
XR. XR, single camera. I paid $350 for this phone, and I only paid $50 for unlimited. You know, I don't go to enough places to where signal, or I'm sorry, what's the word? Not signal. Reception is important. All right. I hang out inside. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. 60 doll hairs. Got motherfuckers out here putting down payments on a phone.
Yeah, you ain't lying, bro.
Like what?
Yeah,
you're
on
right.
a phone?
You ain't lying because when my phone broke, I was like, so how much is it? 23? I was like, bro, I can get a car out the lot.
You go
straight up.
buy
I
here,
want
buy
an
here,
open
pay
item.
here. Literally, buy here, pay here.
No,
With that-
they're like, yo, we have an open item. Give me the open item. You don't care? I'm like, I don't give a shit what it is. I just
No.
need it to work. I'm not
Yeah.
spending
No, it-
$1,700 on a fucking phone.
Because dude, like, what is the point of a phone if not just to keep you connected, bro? Like
Fact.
that's it. It doesn't have to be pretty
Mind
and
you,
shiny.
You want to have nice shit.
No, you would like to, but you can have quality things if you treat them right. You know, like the phone. If you look closely, there are like cracks on it and shit. That's not the phone.
That's the screen
It's
cover.
the screen cover and it's the case. This is a fucking what is it? OtterBox. You know, I because I knew that I wasn't gonna buy a new phone. I pay as much money as
To protect
needed
it.
to protect it. You know,
Geico.
I had a dream. I had a dream a few nights ago. Not a few nights ago, actually last night, where I had an Android phone.
Interesting.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I remember I was at a party on a planet. It was a party planet, and it was this guy hosting it, and there are a lot of people there, and they're all like dressed like Deadpool, for whatever reason. They all just put on Deadpool masks. And I remember I was there with my friends, quote unquote friends, because like you know how it is in dreams. Like,
Yeah.
they have right. So I was looking for my friends, and I couldn't find them. So I remember I texted them like, "Hey, where are you guys?" And it was an Android phone.
Bro, you know how in some movies, if they don't have the budget to get an iPhone as a prop,
Yeah.
they get like a regular Android. Why do I feel like dreams are the same way?
I feel because
And,
I
like, some
couldn't
reason-
afford the iPhone. I didn't have the licensing for the iPhone, so I was like, yeah, just get a random Android. It was really weird. What was also weird about this, the camera was on the bottom. What was notable about the phone, that the camera was down here. It was literally like yours, the 22, or the 20, it's a 22,
22.
right? How the camera's like a square like that, but it was just on the bottom right here.
What?
Because in the dream for a split second, right?
That's for perverts, bro.
Right.
Like, imagine you under the bathroom stall, you're just like, I got the camera on the bottom.
Yes. Literally, bro. You don't have
You
to
do
flip your phone
realize
over.
that you can just like,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
that like adds, that's difficult, Why not just like I'm holding the phone as it is, just like that. Just like that. Just like that. You know?
Right,
like
but
that.
you can literally just like I don't.
Yeah, but that's
understand.
extra.
But then where
That's-
do you have to hit the
it's like that.
button? Well, no,
No,
she's
because,
right.
like,
It's not because you can
dude,
just.
Think of it like this, though. Think of it like this. Imagine you get caught, right? If you get caught with your phone like that, people automatically they know what's good.
Right,
This
but in
guy's
the
a fucking
dream,
weirdo.
but in the dream, if the phone's on the bottom, then it like do
No, but-
people realize that the camera is upside right or upside down? Like
No, because imagine if I have the phone, that means the phone in the dream world, it exists as a regular thing, right? So that means people understand that this is a phone with a camera on the bottom.
Yo.
So when they see the camera at the bottom, it's like, oh, it's one of those new camera on the bottom phones.
My cousin says,
You
yo,
know.
he's watching us on a plane on his way to Spain.
Spain, oh.
I want to be
Yeah.
in a plane to Spain right now.
I am in Spain
Typical.
without the S.
Typical.
I'm
Typical. I want to be in Spain.
playing to Spain.
His sister lives there.
Have a good
Oh, nice.
have a good
Oh, he's
flight
Spanish?
and enjoy.
No, man.
Oh. Wow.
Am I Spanish?
Are you? Technically, you are.
You know what? Let's not get it. Continue your story, though. We're not going
Take
to
a
do
23andMe test.
So yeah,
Hell's
like
no.
Ooh, we
That's how
should
they-
take it.
No.
no,
And
that's how
then-
they
I'm
get
not
your
doing
DNA, bro. That's
I'm
how
not
they get your
doing that.
DNA.
I'm not doing
I mean,
that.
they already have your DNA. But
No,
that's
no,
how they
no.
get your
But
DNA.
the reason I'm not doing that,
Why?
I don't want to know certain things.
Ooh.
Okay.
Jay's a racist confirmed. He doesn't want to know. He doesn't want to know if he's another race. He wants to believe that he's a full, pure-blooded Haitian Caribbean
It's
man.
not that, but I'll tell you guys after why I'm not going to take that test.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, weird dream. I had an Android, and I thought to myself, like, I think I'm gonna go back to Android. I mean, I already told myself I'd go back to Android.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Can you look at Nate's face when you say that?
After
please?
this phone takes a crap, I'm gonna go get a Pixel. Yep. Google boy.
Yeah,
All
what's
the
up?
way. Pixel.
You talking? You
Pixel, baby.
you and Bert were
Hey,
talking.
baby, you hear that? You hear that?
Yeah,
Pixel. I remember I told my girl that I had that dream. She was like, "Ill Android." And I was like, "That's not.
bro,
You're focusing on the wrong part of the dream."
bro,
Oh.
bro.
I mean,
Bro.
if you can live like not like I mean, you know, career wise, you know, if you can live with not having an iPhone and having an Android, do it if it makes you happy. But like
Makes me happy.
Like if I could, I would go back to a flip phone. I'm being so sincere. Like I would go back to a flip phone. Reason?
right. But it's
small.
not convenient.
I like the sidekicks, the ones that they had the keyboards on.
I
like,
wanted those when I
those-
was a kid.
like,
My
bro,
brother
those-
had one. Oh,
Those are always so cool to me. I remember like when my dad first got like a phone like that. And it was so funny. It was amusing. Maybe I was like 8 or 9. He was like, "Hey, look, I got a keyboard on my phone. I'm rich."
Bro.
Yeah, one of those rich guys. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's a keyboard. This is so cool." You know?
no, yeah.
Back in like the early days of touchscreens, when like, oh,
Y'all saying y'all age when this shit came out is messing me up
Why?
because I'm old as shit.
bro, I think the first iPhone came out in like what 08?
2006. No,
Oh no.
07, maybe 08.
Around it,
so.
because I remember being in elementary school and like my teacher,
Like the first iPhone, you
the
mean?
first iPhone, yeah. My teacher was like, "Oh, I got an iPhone."
Bro, I remember when iPhone came out. It was, bro,
Yeah, it was crazy.
it was crazy because number one, it was a different thing. We had brick phones. I had the Nokia with the little light, Metro piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like I just play Snake, and here comes out this phone. Yeah, man, you can go on internet. You know what?
Shouldn't have done that.
Well, and here's where it gets worse. You don't got to pay for ringtones. What? Like, you know, like it was serious, bro. Like it was, damn, man.
Look, she says, "I'm not
Kingdom.
texting you if the bubbles are green." Then I don't know, email me.
Oh, shit. Yeah, what's the beef with that? Seriously, like
It's
Green
because people like to be in cliques. They like to belong. They like to feel like they belong somewhere. They're a part of the in crowd, right? And for the long-
Colors really influence the way that we perceive things. So like take elementary school for example,
Yeah.
or like early middle school.
Remember your first time seeing a white person?
Whoo! When you would color coordinate your classes, green would
Exactly.
be science.
The front, the black kids in the back, the white kids in the front, and the Mexicans in the middle.
I'm pretty sure math was red. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like math is more of a blue.
no, math was red.
Math was red.
I feel like math is more of a blue.
Oh, and language arts, I actually don't remember the color for that one.
Language arts, I think, was blue.
Maybe orange. I don't know. Maybe blue.
I don't remember.
But like you would color coordinate your classes.
Yeah.
So like for Apple and Samsung it would be the same thing. So you see the blue text bubble and like your eyes are just like, wow, blue. It's like, you know, easy on the eyes. But then you see that like that horrible green
No,
and it's like,
Horrible green.
So-
You're just hating at this
yeah,
point.
for
I
real,
don't
dude.
know.
Like literally, here's the thing. the reason why the text bubbles are different is because iPhone uses iCloud to send messages, right? So it lets you know specifically when you're sending SMS versus iCloud messages. And because Android phones don't use the iCloud fucking SMTP server, whatever, to fucking send messages, they didn't have to, but they wanted to make it a point that this person you're communicating with does not have an Apple phone and you have to shame them.
That's that
You know,
cult shit,
yeah, literally,
because
for
that's
the
how
lo-
they be like, yo, you gotta join the ranks.
Literally,
You
for the
gotta-
longest time, if you didn't have an Apple phone, you were a fucking brokey, you know?
Yeah.
But
Then
here's the thing.
Samsung Galaxy came out.
Samsung started stepping up their game. Now it's like, right? Like
I always thought it was a race thing because I
Yeah.
noticed more blacks had fucking Galaxies
Yeah.
and white people had iPhones.
No,
and it was
yeah,
like,
literally. And like the thing is, like, you could say this is a red flag. Like, honestly, the people, because I think I say it ironically, but the people who legitimately don't want to talk to you unless you have, like, if your text bubble is green, because
Mhm.
I've seen videos of women going like, "Oh, the text bubble is green."
You're
like,
doing me a
right?
favor.
Like literally,
You're
it's like,
doing me a freaking
if
favor.
it's really that surface level, then I don't
Oh,
need
I don't-
you.
yeah, I don't
like,
deal
you're
with you,
doing-
bitch.
You're doing
Bro.
me a favor. No,
No,
but literally, it's click. It's a clicky. They
Bro,
follow their herd. Like literally, it's
Ray is such an anti-bandwagon. Let me tell you.
no. I mean, but Ray's on his.
he has reasons though.
No, but here's the thing. Ray's on his own bandwagon though. You have to choose which
Facts.
bandwagon to be a part of. Whether it's
You hear
popular
that?
or
You
not
hear that? You're
popular.
still a bandwagon.
No, because like, look, when I said I'm going for the Pixel, he was like Pixel gang. I'm like, yeah, I'm on the Pixel bandwagon. I would much prefer to have a Pixel.
it's just a joke
Huh?
because like
it's a Google phone.
yeah. Wait,
no, see, you're looking at me like, dude.
wait.
Google is stepping their game up.
That's
bro.
not what I'm looking at.
Oh.
When the
What?
fuck did Google come out with a phone?
Years
What do
ago.
you mean when?
They're on the
They've been
Pixel 6,
No, 7.
7.
I only thought it was iPhone and Samsung.
Dude.
Forgive my
Jason.
ignorance.
Yeah.
Forgive my ignorance.
No,
I don't know.
that's perfectly fine.
There's
because why
Motorola, Nokia.
But it's not. That's not because
not the same.
it has its own operating
Yeah,
system.
it
like
literally-
Apple operating system.
iOS.
Samsung, exactly.
And then yeah,
Something
it's
Android.
Apple and then Android, and now it's fucking Chrome OS or Google, whatever,
Yeah.
Snapdragon. yada, yada.
Impressive, you know.
No, and you know,
No,
I-
Microsoft also has the flip. They have a
no
type of
one's
flip
buying
phone.
that.
But no, let me tell you, like,
one's
because when I
buying
worked at
that
Best
phone.
Buy,
Mhm.
the first gen flip phone for Microsoft wasn't really like
No,
good.
they tried so hard. Remember the Windows? Do you remember the Windows phone when that was running off
I'll
of
tell you right now. So Microsoft tried
Yeah.
to come out with their own iPod,
Zune?
Zune. Yeah,
But the Zooms
and
are good. They were good.
They were great,
Yeah.
but they failed.
Yeah, hard.
Wait, I
they
hear
failed.
AirPods are going back to like remember like those iPods. They're kind of going back to the new AirPods are gonna have like a screen on them. Supposedly, I don't know if I read an article.
AirPods, the
Yeah.
AirPods.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cases or the AirPods
The
themselves.
cases, I mean,
Oh,
It's
like
gonna be digital.
the case is gonna have like a screen, kind of like a
just,
mini.
just another fucking part to break and pay like $200
Yeah,
to
drop your
replace.
case.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
and you're like, I can't see if
Just
it's
another-
fully charged.
That's
Like,
another
so
part
that
to
way,
fucking
like
destroy.
so that way, I mean, think of like little kids. If you don't want them to like have phones, I guess you could say you can get them AirPods. So it's like an MP3 player, I guess. Yeah. If you really think about it, they're kind of like going back, but
Oh,
like
so
in a more
the-
modern
Oh,
way.
The
it holds
headphones
storage.
come with the MP3 player.
Okay.
I guess.
So you-
I have to look more up on it.
So
I'm
you-
assuming that's what you know.
Okay. You buy the headphones and it comes with a complimentary MP3 player. That's hilarious. I
All
like
right.
that.
We think.
So, what are the topics for today?
Jason.
The basketball thing,
The-
LGGSA.
The LSU basketball.
Okay.
I don't
ho-
follow sports, so what's going on with that?
Yeah.
So, this one I find hilarious. When they do it, it's fine. When we do it, it's a problem. So, you had the LSU who won the championship with the opposing team, and there's a player, Caitlin.
Oh, this is female.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
female
women's basketball.
But here's the crazy thing. yo,
Somebody clip that.
yo, Flavor Flav. All right, so as they're going, she was basically doing the John Cena.
Oh yeah,
and,
was she?
and then people were like, "Oh, that's just sportsmanship, and it's intimidating. It's ego, like it's
Yeah.
It
appropriate."
happens.
That's-
And then when the girl did it from LSU, which is black, she's a thug. She's inappropriate.
People are so annoying.
So it's like when they do it, it's fine. When we do it, it's like imagine
but
you
here-
taunting me, right? And they're like, "Yo, Ben, man, he's taunting because he's secure. He believes in who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's hungry. He's motivated. He's an athlete." I do that to Ben. he's a thug. He needs to be put down. He
He needs to be put
locked
down
up.
like the wild fucking dog he is.
Yeah.
No, because I like to think of it like this. Even though, and this is where it's gonna get a bit unhinged. Even though people like to claim that they don't see color,
Bullshit.
we literally see color every
Every
day.
day.
You know, and the
Every
people,
day.
the people that claim that they don't are, in my opinion, the people that see it more so
They're the
than the
most
average
dangerous
person.
ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like when you hear coming like, oh, I don't see color. That means you know, but you're blatantly ignoring what's like obvious, you know. Like, and I get it. It could sound racist when I say certain things, but I like to think of myself as I am a racist. You know, I'm a responsible racist. You know,
Yeah.
I don't hold people's culture or color against them, but there are certain aspects to one's color or culture, if you can determine it, that kind of feed into who they are as a person. It's not. There are exceptions, but sometimes it just is. If you look at me, you see me as a black person, right? A
Yeah.
black person. Then you would, the racist thing, like, oh, I bet he can jump high. I bet he's good at basketball or whatever, right? I'm
Yeah.
not good at basketball. I'm actually mediocre at basketball, but I can jump pretty fucking high. All right.
You can?
Yeah, I can jump really high. I am pretty athletic, right? And it'd be racist to be like, oh, he's black. Of course he is. I mean, like, right? Another thing, if you look at someone who's Hispanic, like a Mexican person, you say some shit, oh, I bet you can make a good fucking tamale, right? Right? I bet they could make a good fucking tamale. And
So here's the thing: there's always truth
there's truth in
to every
stereotypes.
race.
Yeah.
Stereotypes. Like,
I feel like I was digging myself into a hole.
I'm gonna bail you out. I'm gonna bail you
Yeah.
out. It's like when they say
I
all
stand
black
by it.
people like black chicken,
Yeah.
or watermelon. Like,
I mean,
you know, like
Do you guys?
I don't like
Do
watermelon.
you like watermelon?
I don't
I
like
love
I love
watermelon.
fried chicken, but I don't like watermelon. I
I-
love me some fried
I
chicken.
love watermelon.
No, it's because like
Okay.
watermelon.
Did you just really do that?
Yeah.
This guy, bro.
It's because watermelon, it's
Watery?
You know, yeah. I was gonna say, contrary to popular belief, watermelon's too watery for me.
Let me tell you, a day at the beach with some watermelon. Oh,
I bet you would like that. You fucking.
what? I don't get it.
You darn racial slur.
So on that, so to go back to the whole thing, it's basically her name is Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And the whole thing, which is crazy, like even Shaq basically came out, Barstool.
Yeah.
So he basically was talking about
talking this shit.
he was talking his shit about, Angel doing that shit.
Yeah.
When Caitlyn did it, you were supporting it. When Angel do it, she's a thug, right?
So
And
Lauren
Shaq-
here says, I'm sorry to cut you off. Lauren here says that they were up over like 20 points.
Yeah.
And it was seen as unsportsmanlike. So I
Facts.
guess like the mercy,
Well,
like showing.
if you wanted to call that as a technical, I could see
Yeah.
that because she followed her taunting. That's and even in men's basketball, that's a technical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the drawback is you call her a thug. So Shaq basically tweeted your mama. Like, I'm just like, yeah. But here's
Shaq
the
is so
benefit
funny.
of it. It exposes the culture for women in basketball and it's putting it in the limelight where it deserves.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. It got everybody involved because it's like, okay, is it about race though? Yes. At the end of the day, because
People look
what's
at it.
the
yeah.
difference? A white girl did it, competitive. A black person did it, thug.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
And like you can they can try again. I'm not keeping up with this. I'm just going off of what I'm hearing. But you can try and construe this any way you want. But like literally based on what I'm hearing, it sounds racially motivated.
Why would you instinctually see this black player
Because
and
black people are
automatic-
thugs. They're criminals.
Oh my god.
All right, they're fried chicken, big lip, big old nose, breathing up the white man's air, not paying child support, got 3 different baby mamas.
I think you should stop.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Is it okay?
13%. Look up that statistic. No, that's been debunked. Oh, okay, I'm messing on that one. That's been
Okay.
debunked.
I have a genuine question. Is it disrespectfully racist if a black person like Ben says it, but like in a satire way?
Well, here's the
I
thing.
mean,
This is
people
where
who-
it comes
I'm
down
just-
to
I'm just
content.
curious.
This is where it comes down to content and character. We know Ben. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But for the person on the outside, yeah, you're gonna get easily triggered because you don't have a relationship with because they be like, oh, he's not being satire.
Yeah.
He's being,
I genuinely don't like black people.
you know. So being like that, it's like, but it goes down to show you
Yeah.
if you want to be real about it, you don't have to like black people. You don't have to like white people. I don't care.
You can just not like people in
You don't
general.
have to like people in general, but I think where people fish for it in that case is the problem.
No,
You're
yeah, yeah.
fishing. You're looking for a problem. Like no one has to accept you in this life. Like
Right.
that's facts. Like I don't care what anybody says. No one has to accept you. But the only time I have a problem with somebody who has like racist is when they're in a position of power that can make decisions that could basically affect
and
my
they're
life.
biased.
Then I have a problem with you because you can affect my life. Now, if you want to be some racist bastard and stay in your hole, stay there. I don't care. But when you have a position of power that affects the way people live and your morals are reversed, that's when it's a problem. Just like, what do you think is worse? A person who's prejudiced or racist?
I think racist because prejudice doesn't have to pertain to race.
Okay.
Sometimes prejudice can like be like to social standing, right? It could be culture
So you think
based.
racism?
I think
is worse?
racism is worse because literally racism. I mean, when it comes down to it, just fucking colors, right? That's what it comes down to. Racism is just
colors.
you are that color. I don't like that color.
What about you, Nate? What do you think is worse, prejudice or racism?
I agree with Ben's point. I mean, to me, I'm kind of like teeter-tottering between the two, to be honest.
I'm
Well,
a responsible racist.
I always look at.
my
Put that on a
God.
shirt.
Oh my god! A
I
bumper sticker.
will say I don't like prejudiced people because
Right.
racism is usually associated with ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorance is lack of knowledge,
Okay.
right? Prejudice is when you're fully aware and you're educated, but you choose to be this way. You get what I'm saying? Because when you
Yeah.
deal with people who are racist, they believe the stereotype, as you were saying,
Yeah.
baby mama, fried chicken. They believe that. There's black excellence all over.
Unironically, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most of black people in U.S. history create most of the living conditions you're living now. AC, traffic lights, cotton machine.
Cotton gins, yeah.
Yeah,
Closed
like-
security, CCTV. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
So when you want to basically talk about racism, racist people believe the stigma because they're
Right.
not educated. But a prejudiced person who chooses to be this way but knows the truth. That's a
Okay.
person to me who's far more dangerous.
You're right.
Because
I
they're
hear what you're saying,
educated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when they say ignorance is bliss?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
truly is. If you think about it, and this is no disrespect to my crew, my friend, but my dumbest friend is the happiest one.
No, yeah. I remember saying I was talking with my girls, like, I envy stupid people.
Yes.
I was literally thinking that. I'm like, wow.
You know what? I'm not even saying I don't want to
Look,
be
I-
foul.
look,
Let me
I'm
choose
not
the right
saying
word.
that I'm some kind of proto genius. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm smart.
Sometimes you're too self-aware.
Like, yeah, just
you know?
my self-awareness is just like I'm an overthinker. So I don't consider myself an intelligent person, but I just like
I don't want to call them stupid. I'm going to say not as conscious.
yeah,
When you have somebody who's not as conscious to like what's going on,
oblivious.
oblivious
Yeah,
to the fact,
Yeah,
oblivious,
that's a better word.
they're easier to please.
Yeah.
Think about it. The more educated you are, you ever really dealt with as a man, you ever dealt with a really educated woman and realized, hell's no.
No, yeah,
Because you can't please them.
they're depressed. A lot of
Yeah.
them are. I'm not.
And same thing, an educated man. You
Yeah.
ever been
Yeah,
with a dude
just-
who's so educated that it made you uncomfortable?
I've
Could
been
you-
around people who have definitely been in a state of constant awareness, very intelligent, and it was a little bit difficult to please them.
No, just like really smart people.
And I'm also aware of that, but I'm also like my personality, sometimes I'm a silly goose, sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I can be a little sad.
You have a filter.
Yeah, but I do know when to have fun. I try not to take life too serious because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you only have one life, and,
We're here
and
for
you
a
never
good time,
know.
not a long
So
time.
yeah, I just think,
Exactly.
and it's been proven that like the smarter you are at a younger age, the more
Mhm.
likely you are to become
A
depressed.
psychopath.
You know,
or
yeah.
depressed.
Oh yeah,
Like if you go on the internet and you type in who else was considered gifted in school
Hitler.
and now was like depressed and you can't like they're like burnouts or whatever stuff like that, like they have like serious anxiety and shit like that. It's just the knowledge comes at a cost.
Fact.
You know,
you have
it-
to
it
you have to
always does.
enjoy your childhood.
Yeah.
Well, that I agree with you guys 100%. So it's like, okay, when you're fully aware and you're educated and whatnot, I think the problem that comes behind that, where they fall off the deep end, is because you can't. Knowledge is not to be controlling.
Yeah.
Knowledge is in order to advance yourself. And
Yeah.
I've realized like people who are really educated and miserable and whatnot,
They're like, what's the point?
they're what the point because they can't control it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the situation that's going on in life right now, right?
And they know all
You
this
can't
stuff, but they
control
can't do
everything.
anything
And
with
then,
their knowledge.
and then I don't really like being around people who have that mentality because then it's like I don't want to feel that way.
Yeah, they're a downer.
Yeah, you're a
You
bum.
know.
Yeah, like, yeah, you have all this information in your head, but everything you've told me just fucking bums me out.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to be around that. I like to have stupid fun.
What's
Yeah.
that cartoon where the kids he's always depressed?
Uh-huh.
Shit, man.
That's a lot of information. Things.
No. It's like
Give us a
it's
platform.
like he's like an Eeyore. What cartoon is that? He's an Eeyore.
Is it
Do you-
Cartoon
do
Network,
you know
Disney
what? Yeah,
Channel?
what channel it's from?
Bro, I'm so burnt out today.
Nickelodeon?
I'm so burnt out. I'm trying to even remember like the full thing. Like he's just
Was it
Dexter's
animated?
Laboratory?
Charlie Brown, bro.
Oh,
Charlie
Oh.
Brown. Yeah.
Oh.
Like if you obviously you guys are way
Yeah,
younger
yeah.
than me. He's a realist.
No, yeah,
Like,
he's
and it jacks it. Like Charlie Brown is very dark.
yeah.
Like when you realize it, because he's a young kid, but he's so conscious that he's stripped himself of his childhood. While the dude is just basically chilling. He's like, yeah, man, you know.
Like, yeah, I
life is-
get it, but it's gonna get fucked later on. So what's
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
point? Yeah.
You know,
And then to people who kind of just like kind of shit on you and say, "Oh, like you gotta be real. This is life." Like they try to find a way to make you feel bad for wanting to stay a little ignorant or just a little, you know, how like a little stupid. I don't know how to say it,
Because
but it's like, you know what? I don't care. I pay my bills. I'm very responsible. I try to be responsible financially. You know, I'm a growing
you're
adult.
living your life.
I'm living my life. I know how to somewhat adults and
But-
be responsible, but I prefer to have fun and not be as
I,
Why so
depressed as you.
serious?
I think why you so serious. Okay, but I think that that by itself,
Yo, your lips were wet as fuck. Like you just hear your
yeah, he would know. He would know.
You would
Bitch,
know.
Don't play with me.
What you mean?
Don't-
You
don't-
said
don't-
it. He
don't-
said it.
Don't play with me.
He said it. Yeah, my lips wet.
Boy, look here. Look here. I'm gonna tell you this one time. And don't lick your lips either. You're LLPJ.
I mean, they were dry.
See this? I can't.
My
I
lips
can't,
are-
I can't, I
they were
can't,
dry.
I can't with you.
This is what we talked about last week. You can't get into a fight with Ben because
No, he makes everything worse. Like if you insult him, he's gonna advance.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Presume.
Like exactly. Like so. Back in the day, you always had that one homeboy who was acting like sus,
Yeah.
right? And you like, nah, you cancel it out. Ben is the type to instigate it.
What you mean?
So like, if his boy's doing something questionable, he's gonna make advancements that are questionable,
See,
like what you
'cause-
did at the wharf.
because
Like
what
that
it-
messed me up. Like that messed me up. Because I honestly look, dog, I had a question. I even asked you. Cause yo, this is when you Ray, we were at the
Yeah.
wharf, right?
uh-huh.
And I'm looking at his boy look like from Dead Presidents.
Yeah.
What was he, a gangster mime or something?
I don't remember.
So with the vape pen, y'all literally shotgun, but y'all did it weird. You messed up my head.
Yeah,
'cause
I did it
honestly-
specifically to mess with Jade. I was single at the time.
He wants to emphasize
But
it.
I had to ask him, like, yo, you know, you could tell me if you're gay. Like, it got to that point. Like, I had to ask him because
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, dog, like, if this is your way of telling me you're trying to come out the closet, it's okay.
No,
You know,
I,
it's like-
Jason.
I did that specifically to mess with Jason because I knew that it would. I was like, I literally, yeah, I did specifically mess with Jason anyway.
Dude,
but,
going out, I can just picture Ben like just instigating some shit with some guy and like being how he is, you know, say some sexual, be like, oh yeah, whatever, this and that.
we get-
And then Jason has to prepare because he's like, oh, that one friend who always says some out of pocket
Yeah,
shit. Now I
'cause
have to
here's
get
the
ready to
thing.
fight with him.
Mhm.
in the modern era, the modern man, it's a game of chicken.
Well, that day is gonna go bad for you because I'm calling it now.
No.
You're gonna provoke somebody, and they're not gonna be like, "Nah, fuck that, I'm advancing." And you're like, "No, I was joking. That's gonna happen to you."
Jason, where are you?
No, but that has so there has been instances where it was not in my favor in regards to that. I remember one of my friends, this was around the time where I had wrecked my car, and he would drive me to work, and you know
you told me.
and he is homosexual, and I remember everyone knows me. I'd say the sus shit, yada yada. And I remember like me and him were just like going back and forth. You know what? Because right? We're just like going back and forth, yada yada. And some things are said, and he said something, and then I had to go like, "Whoa!"
Like yo, shit got real.
I was like, look, you're my homie, but I think you should know that I don't roll that way.
You're playing the character too real.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
what I'm telling you.
I was just goofing,
bro. You know what? You real shit. You should go into acting, bro. You should go into acting.
I could, but I don't. I actually, when I was younger, I used to really want to be an actor. I used to really want to like star in film and do that kind of stuff, voice acting, that kind of stuff. Because I see myself as someone who's very animated. I could really just like.
Well, you like lighting people up.
Yeah, I love entertaining people. I used to even do stand-up comedy.
But yeah, why don't you do improv?
Improv.
I feel like
I'm down to do it if you do it.
Improv.
I'm down to do it if you guys do it.
Improv is the lowest form of comedy.
Oh yeah. Who the fuck cares?
Who cares, bro?
No, I'm just saying. So I used to do stand-up. But like the thing is, once you get big in the media sphere, and like you have to get like a manager and stuff like that, your life no longer.
Yeah, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's not fun. Then it really does become a job, And so that's what when I remember I used to be into like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and looking up like
beast. Listen, when I'm laughing hard, I snort. Okay, I snort, bro, and I don't apologize, and I don't appreciate it.
Not sorry, but But beyond like the conspiracy theory stuff with like, oh, celebrities sell their soul or stuff like that, like let's put that aside. No, let's put that aside. I mean, but let's look at the reality. Like, if you don't believe in any of that, selling your soul, that kind of stuff, nonsense. Look at the reality. These people, 24/7, their lives are under a microscope. They have to be
literally everything. It's a repertoire.
Yeah,
with a status.
Yeah. So I remember seeing a video with Kodak Black, right? And he was talking about how like when women like asking for money or whatever, and he said, all right, like I don't have any money. I don't have no money. This money is not mine. This shit it's not real.
It's not real. It's a placebo.
Yeah, these change our mind. The same thing with what was that guy? What was that kid's name? That made that song. Zanny's gonna betray you. Zanny's gonna take you.
I don't know the name, but I
think his name was Little Xan or some whatever. The point is, then he came out and he was like, he was a kid. He's like, I have this car in this garage. I can't even drive this car, even though
I know. Yeah, it was
like,
Little Xan.
And then I think with like Cardi B or whatever, she doesn't have a driver's license. I think it's some famous woman.
No, it's Cardi B.
Yeah. She has all these Lambos,
but she doesn't have a fucking like. So here's the truth, right? I know we go all over the place, and I honestly I apologize in a sense because we target everything.
Yeah, it's logical.
No pun intended. So no, but it's true. I think what you're saying is real. Like when you get into that and it becomes a job, it sucks the passion. Like I love what I do at work. I'm great at what I do at work. But when I know it's not my choice, that bothers me.
I gotta do this.
Yeah, and that's why you gotta be careful. And speaking of that, as we get into our next topic, is education ruining relationships?
Is education ruining relationships? What do you mean? Like,
so
are you saying that
education, like if you have your girl in school, or when you're in school, is it embedding on your relationship? Is it straining it?
It could.
I think it depends on the level of education. So like higher learning, I think it will definitely impede that, because especially if you're with someone, male or female, they, them, whatever they identify as, if they are a high achiever, right? Then it's gonna make sense for them to want to focus on their studies more so than right? Because and their reasoning will be like, we have the rest of our lives to be together. I only have this time to make it like that. I see that, right? I can see where that's going, as well as, in some higher learning of places that bro, it just makes no sense to date a college individual.
Or like if you're in the university /
Yeah.
college
Mhm.
and let's say you're living on campus, your entire life revolves like around campus.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you, I was on campus yesterday. I just got out of class and I stayed to do homework in the library. And I'm just looking around at everyone.
Mhm.
And, I go to school part-time and I live with my parents. But last summer I was more involved in
Mhm.
some activities, and I really got to see. And some of my friends lived on campus, so I got to see their dorms, and it just didn't really hit me because some students who live on campus, they go to
Consumed.
school, work, they go to school full time.
Mhm.
Like some can even work on campus or not even work at all. Their whole lives
Mhm.
is campus,
yeah.
is school.
Which
So that
is-
once that they graduate, they're like, wow, what do I do now? Or even if they're
Like,
in
what do you do with yourself?
what do you do with yourself?
Yeah,
Because
you-
now, you had if you're on a full ride, perfect. Or if you're on like student loans, okay, great. But even then, you still had some sort of finance covering your housing
Yeah.
and also your food. Because let's say you have,
Your-
some
your
food
meal
credits,
plan or
your
whatever,
meal
yeah.
plans, everything was easy.
And then it's like you're
manageable.
shipped out into the real
And then in
world.
the real world, it's nothing like that.
I also think that's why and I could be wrong. Correct
Mm.
me if I'm wrong. I'm just gonna say this out there because this is what my brain is telling me.
Yeah.
So I also think that there's an influx of college students saying that socialism works.
Yeah, because it makes life
Yeah,
so much easier for
Yeah,
them.
it just makes sense, right? You go to somewhere, all your needs are met,
Yep.
and
I
you're
just
not
wanna-
paying for it
I
or
wanna
whatever.
call out,
Someone else is paying
Beast
for it.
J
Whatever.
MR. Who put a heart on this man's comment? Did
But,
you-
who?
who
How do
like-
we?
No,
What?
I don't
He's
know.
calling me Mr. Waynes. I do not look like the Waynes.
You do.
No,
Stop
I
that.
don't.
No, you do. You're
No.
light skinned. He's light skinned. That's it. That's all
I'm
you
not
need.
light skinned.
I mean, compared to Ben.
Yeah, because he's fucking did midnight. But to go back, so
But yeah, so
I had this-
like if your entire life revolves around campus, and let's see, like Ben said, you're a high achiever, you always
Mm-hmm.
focus on your studies. If you're in a relationship, depending on the person and the studies, it could somewhat interfere with that
let me.
if
So
you let it, obviously.
I remember I had this conversation with you, right?
Yeah.
And let's break it down.
Break it
Men
down.
have a financial clock, right?
Okay.
Women have a biological clock.
we
Here we go.
So-
again.
The reason why I say that, the school interfere with that, and in no way in shape and mind do I basically go against a woman getting her education. Do it. Famous words of Mark Twain: never let school get in the way of your education. But the reality is, women are going to school in their 20s. You're sacrificing so much, but at what point do you really make time for yourself to build a life and prepare for your life?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, what do you truly
because I-
gain from
yeah,
it?
because I see so many women who go to school, they get the degrees and whatnot, but they sacrifice so much that the relationship either went tainted or they put so much work, they realize they want to have kids and they burnt up that time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where, like, do you feel like school needs to acknowledge, like these universities, these colleges need
So-
to acknowledge that,
Yeah, 'cause,
yo,
like
you can't,
Yeah.
you can't, when it comes, whether male or female, you got to make a life for yourself. Because when you're in school, yeah, that's great. But then once you're out the door, that's the real world.
No,
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think this is what I think. This is an opinion. So if anyone disagrees, feel free to share that with me. You can find me on Sir Zanyo on Instagram or just comment down below. But I think that it's better if a man wastes a majority of his youth chasing higher education than if it were to be a woman. And
Break that down.
this is the reason why I say this. I don't think at all that if you want to go get your education, do it, right? You will be better off in the long run if you were to continue living on your own. If you got education, you got your master's or whatever, right? Doctorates, whatever, go for it. If you want to achieve that, go for it.
Yeah, by all means. It's
By
your
all
life.
means, right? That's what I say. But I think, and this is just like me thinking in the traditional mindset of the male should be the breadwinner. That it makes more sense for a man to sacrifice
Than a
so-
woman to
for a
sacrifice.
woman
Because the
like,
woman's already sacrificing when she's bringing a life in.
no, yeah, like women you know,
A
traditionally already sacrifice so much when they decide to become a homemaker, a mother,
Yep.
that kind of stuff. Like they're literally sacrificing everything to raise children, right?
Mhm.
Like
Right.
they don't go to school, they probably don't work full time.
Well, to piggyback off that real quick, right? What you're saying is correct, and I think that's what drives the modern woman to get an education.
Yeah, because like they're like, I don't have any worth unless I'm
Well,
barefoot in the
Well,
kitchen,
not
like
only that,
looking after
but if you
kids.
look at through history,
Yeah.
right? Like let's talk from the 1950s all the way to the 80s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of women were the home care and took
Yeah.
care of the children, and if the man opted out, no education. What am I going to
Exactly.
do? You know what I'm saying? So I think
It's a
that's
good
why
safety
lot
net.
of
It's a very good
great
safety net, yeah.
and I think that's why so many young women's mothers are telling them to get an education, because the reality is, like, your mother witnessed so many of her friends or family members basically opt out of a relationship and they had literally nothing.
Yeah.
They
That's
had
true.
no reserve. So it's like, I don't want that for my daughter. Like, I really, when
Yeah.
we had this last conversation, I really tried to understand why is the modern woman so strict with, you know,
Because,
Yeah,
And I,
because
no, I will
because
tell
literally-
you why.
uh,
Because our parents' generation,
mhm.
and I can only speak for at least Hispanics in general, because you know, as far
You're
as
Hispanic.
I'm Hispanic, as far as my friend group, you know, everyone in my life growing up has shared the same struggle. Almost all of our parents have come from a different country, to give their kids a better life. And I know you had, like, you know, asked us this question about, like, oh, you know, if what if her partner, like, didn't want kids or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I was thinking about that answer, and it kind of relates to what we're talking about. Our parents sacrificed so much for their kids, for us to have a better life. And, you know, my mom always tells me all the time, and my dad too, get an education, because, you know, as
Safety
what
net.
you guys were
Yeah.
saying earlier, yes, to some degree, I do agree. You know, if you want to live a traditional life, a traditional relationship, by all means, go for it. But there's pros and cons to everything. So if you live in a traditional relationship, you have to realize the
Yeah.
cons, that if that relationship goes to shit, what happens
so
to
let
the
me-
partner that is not,
I
you
agree.
know,
So
the
let me say
breadwinner?
this. So let me say this to that. Even though I was speaking from a traditional
Mhm.
mindset, right? I don't consider myself a traditional man, right? I would like to say like a mix of both. And what I mean by that is, I am definitely okay. I think that everyone should get an education if that's how they see it fit.
Yeah.
My dad has kind of etched into my mind. He himself, he's like, if you find a woman that doesn't have some kind of skill, you know, some kind
It's
of
a problem.
it's a problem, because she'll only hold you back later on in life. And
She becomes a
yeah,
liability.
she does. That's just the truth. If you get man or woman, if you get with someone that don't know
Mhm.
nothing and
You
you're
ain't
trying to do
going
something
nowhere.
big, you're not
Mm,
going anywhere with that
facts.
person, bro. Especially if you're
yeah,
not trying
I
to learn.
agree.
So to this, I think that and it's unfortunate because where we are in the economy, it makes you
Yeah.
can't do shit on your own anymore.
I was just gonna
right? Yeah.
mention that to
You
you guys.
cannot do shit on your own. So the idea of the average man,
average Joe.
yeah, the average Joe
And
raising
Jane.
a family, right? No, it makes sense that the man and the woman work. This is how I personally would want it, and this is how I feel now. It could change in the future. How I would want it is, I work full time. I don't mind working full time. She can work part time, or run a business out of the home or something. Because my belief system is there needs to be at least one parent at home with
Strong
the children.
force.
Yeah.
You don't want the world raising you
During
kids.
their developmental
True.
stages. Like,
No,
and,
yeah.
and it's not like I want her to live her life at home. Like once they get to a certain
sacrifice.
yeah, once they
We're
can
all making a
yeah,
sacrifice.
like my idea is like once they can raise themselves, essentially, like go
Mm.
into the fridge, put food in their own
Yeah.
mouths, you know, put their own clothes on, go do your thing.
Yeah.
But while they're in their most developmental stages, I think that there should be
hardcore family values.
there should be at least
Yeah.
one parent at
culture,
home.
speaking.
because
and, like,
yeah,
And I don't want, and like, right, like I don't mind being the parent that stays home, but I also don't want, because I don't like that what's been fed to women, that they have to subscribe to the idea of that they don't want to serve their man at the house.
Submit.
Yeah, submit to their man, but they would submit to the boss man or
Yeah.
boss woman, that if they disappeared, they wouldn't give a fuck. They would replace you the very
Talk-
next day.
everything
you
is
know?
perspective,
Like,
you guys.
it's perspective.
right.
Because
So-
if you
You're
think
right.
about it, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Your
so
delivery.
it's the delivery. So the traditional mindset. First and foremost, in this economy,
Not gonna work
traditionalism doesn't exist.
unless you're making like
Unless
over
you're making-
80, 90.
Unless you have such a good job that pays you so well, then okay.
Or if you're
traditionalism exists.
financially frugal.
You know, but it's just like, at least, you know, in our like group or
Generation.
our class, I mean,
Yeah.
Tradition.
how can one be live in a traditional relationship if the economy is so
Traditional, yeah.
If I may take traditional, right? I think we misunderstand the concept of what traditional is.
Probably
I just
do.
mean financially.
Yeah.
Like how can in this economy
I mean, like the man
sorry, I meant to be
taking care
more
of most.
specific.
Yeah, the man
So,
taking care of most of the
or
bills,
just one
Okay.
person.
So it's not easy. Like
one
as with
person
my last
breadwinner, yeah.
relationship, it was traditional. I took the heavy load. It is extremely,
but it takes a toll
It is extremely difficult.
if you don't have the right job.
It's not even about the right job. If you don't have the right mentality,
No, and
it's not.
and
And that's
honestly,
another thing.
I
It's not.
think-
It's not for everyone.
before you continue, I just want to
Mhm.
say this really quickly. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I think that men are more used to being pack mules than women.
Facts.
And I'm not saying that's because I'm not saying women aren't capable, but I love women.
What's the
And,
majority?
I would love to take care of all women, right? In the sense that like they don't have to put themselves or find themselves in situations to where they have to take a role that
Between
they
a
wouldn't
rock and a
usually take.
hard
Yeah,
place.
like
yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be the only choice, right? I would want it to, if they want to go do a thing, put themselves in the position that they would force them to like be a pack mule or whatever, then I want that to be a
The
choice,
choice,
and
not-
not the reality.
Yeah, not survival mode.
Exactly. I would want it
So-
to be wanted. So I'm just saying that,
Like
yeah,
so to be traditional, right?
yeah.
I think again, it is extremely difficult in the sense of like, yeah, you know, I have a skill set that many people don't have.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I work on cars, I work on bikes. I pretty much I'm a walking handyman.
Yeah.
I could do plumbing, I could do mechanics, I could do electrical, you know what I'm saying? I can move a water heater. I learned because I grew up in a house where everything was broken.
Right.
And that being said, I think the idea of the financial side that you're talking about, you're 100% correct. There's no debate in that.
That's all I
you're-
pretty much mean, you
Yeah.
know.
But to break it down to topic like traditional values in the modern world, and this is where I feel bad for you guys, because unfortunately, your generation is the most stressed. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say, especially when it comes to schooling, you have all these resources, but it's hard for you guys to find your feet beneath you because that variable is fucking cancer
bro,
to you
Yeah.
guys.
the thing is that, and these are the statistics, less men are going to higher learning, like
Yeah.
to universities. It's more women that are going to, like, women are
They're getting
dominating
more
universities.
degrees.
Yeah.
They're getting,
But here's the
at what
problem.
cost?
But here's the problem at the cost of raising a family. But plenty of modern women just don't give a darn, right?
Now.
and that's okay, right? Like
Now.
yeah, now they don't care now. But I'm not going to be the one to be like, oh, we'll see you in 10 years when you're childless and alone.
I
Make sure you
wouldn't
get.
even say that.
But what I'm saying is that women are dominating the universities, right? And
Mhm.
this is statistically proven. A woman with a higher degree obtained are least likely to go for
Average Joe.
An average Joe. Like if you're smart, you went to school for 4 years, 6 years. You're not gonna get some guy that's fucking working for 50 or 40
Premium selection,
right?
baby.
Because like you put this much and you're worth this much, right? You
Mm.
went and you got a job that's paying $120,000 a year because you went to school for it. You
You
earned
want a
that,
man of your
right?
caliber.
And so you want someone either at your level or above you. And I'm not
Mm.
saying that, like, and I know it sounds like misogynist when we say like, but it's just a reality.
yeah.
It literally is a reality. Nobody, or at least women,
Naturally.
yeah, like what woman in her right mind, as I'm saying, would want someone below her, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting someone.
I mean, but the
Rules to
Look,
the
would this be
exceptions don't count.
considered-
Let's say like this. Think about it like this, right? I'm gonna use you, Nat.
okay.
Imagine you're working and you're making $50,000, $50,000 to $70,000. No, you're making $80,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're making $80,000. Now let's
Your man flipping burgers.
let's put it aside, right? Let's put the feelings aside, right? Realistically speaking, logically speaking, for your guys' future, if your man flipping burgers. He's only making $30,000.
Nah, not even. Let's be real. He's
20
making 24,000.
$24,000
you're making
a
80.
year. You're making 80. You're making nearly 3 times as much as what he's thinking.
Mhm.
Do you truly believe that he's gonna appreciate what you're doing for him, or do you think that at any point you would feel like you're being taken advantage
Your worth
of?
is going to be acknowledged.
The only way I would feel taken advantage of is if he's constantly asking me to like buy him things and
but-
like that very materialistic. I
No,
mean,
but listen, you're going to have to take care of a majority of the bills because you make
I'll
more
even do
money.
you.
No,
one
let
better.
me tell
Can
you.
I add to this though.
Yeah.
mhm.
You also have to keep in mind you're making 80K, your profession, right? And a lot of times, what people don't actually acknowledge, especially in relationships, your crew, your coworkers, who you associate, your environment is gonna look at you and judge you off that. You know what I'm saying? How many times have we seen those movies? And this is the only like one where it's actually real life, and it's like in the movies where if you're a neurosurgeon,
Mhm.
right, and your man is flipping burgers, your colleagues are gonna look at you and I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
And they're
like,
gonna poke fun at you, bro.
and then
You'll be a
if they
laughing
don't poke
stock.
fun at you, it's a reputation that precedes you in life. So
But
Who
I
use-
find that very flawed, though.
it is.
I mean, it is, but
it's
just-
reality
it's what
because
it
think
is.
about it. It's like, yeah, you're a professional, you got a great career, but your man is not up to your caliber. So your reputation's at stake because I'm like, this
You would
is
be
who-
considered a
this is who-
house husband.
no, but
Well,
like,
no,
here's the
but
thing.
they're
You
gonna
could-
look at you like this
Yeah.
is your man. This
Like,
is
'cause,
what
like,
she associates
you
herself
could
with.
That's
love
my man.
him. No, but here's the thing.
He takes care of the house.
you
Like,
could love him, right?
Yeah.
And you know, people seem to think that love is the thing that trumps all. And I think
In the
love
long
is a,
run,
yeah,
yes.
love
But
is a
I-
very powerful force.
I
right?
don't care what other people think,
But
though.
listen, what I'm saying is, you can have that mentality, but resentment always rears its head in if you don't feel like you're being met at your level.
You see, guys,
'Cause, like-
but this is a problem that I have. A
Mm.
lot of people have this like mentality, and it's like, hello, wake up, be in a healthy relationship. Because if the roles were reversed, and I feel like this is double standards. If the roles were reversed and the husband was the one, and the man was the one who was making, you know, all this money, and the woman was the one flipping burgers,
Mhm.
it's okay because she's a housewife, because that's her duties. But
Okay.
because the
No,
roles
but-
are reversed, because the roles are
You're
reversed,
right.
there's a
Mhm.
problem. Personally,
Double
I don't give a
standard.
fuck what
No,
people
you're
think about my
absolutely right.
relationship. And personally speaking, if I have, you know, after I graduate, I have a good paying job, you know, I'm making 80 to let's say 100K a year,
Mhm.
and my man makes a little less than me, I don't care, because at the end of the day, he respects me, he makes me laugh, he cares about me, he meets all my emotional needs and my physical needs. We're in a healthy relationship, and if we want to build a future together, if he decides he wants to be a stay-at-home husband, okay, good. Because maybe he wants to, like you were saying
Yeah.
earlier, make a business at home or do like a little
So
part-time side
that's
hustle.
one thing. So what you're describing is the ideal, right?
But that's how healthy
but no,
relationships should be,
No,
though.
but the thing is, like I said, resentment always shows its face, right?
So-
you may not resent him for making
Mhm.
less, but he may secretly resent
Resent
you
you
for
because you
making
make
so
him
more.
then
look
if
weak.
he feels like, you know, and this is where I'm going back to healthy relationships,
Yeah.
he needs to communicate with me that he feels this way, so I can at least try to help him
But
get
help
to where
him-
he
but
needs to be.
let me
Because
ask
if
you
you
this.
are partnerships and you're married,
Yeah.
the whole point of being like, you know, married in a healthy marriage,
Mhm.
I'm assuming, is to, you know, you're there for each other for better or for worse.
Yeah, but
you need to uplift each other and
Yeah.
help each other, even if sometimes you don't want to and you
Okay.
resent each other.
But
You're
do you
absolutely
hear
right.
what you're
and
saying,
this
though?
is idealistic. This is a
You're not
fantasy
wrong.
world. Yeah, you're not
I'm
wrong at all.
at all.
I
But
know-
what-
I don't
the-
disagree with
but
you.
where I actually commemorate you because, like, yo,
You have that mindset.
you have that
yeah.
mindset, and that's something that we only seen with our grandparents or seen with our parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's something.
But that's the
that
thing, we
doesn't
have to
exist.
break our
But here's
generational
the thing-
curses,
yeah,
though.
but we're in this era. Think of
Yeah.
it honestly. Think of it like we are in the boss babe era. Women
Mhm.
are taking over. Like literally, I shit you not. Women are taking over, and whatever that entails for the future, it doesn't really matter right now because what is that women are dominating most spaces, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, the whole boss babe thing that's coming out, there's nothing wrong with being a boss babe, but it's like this. You're a boss babe. Would you, as a boss babe, not as you anymore, Nat, as a boss babe, right? You making your own money, you put all this time, you got your car, you got your house, yada yada. Would you really want some bum mooching off you, right? Reaping all the benefits of the hard work that you did as a boss babe, right? When you could find someone who makes more than you, and you still keep all your money, but they're spending all their money on you. Well, what I'm saying is,
let me just add a little bit, because you are giving me basically only two choices, and life isn't as black and white as it seems, because you can have both. You can have the moocher, the leecher, and you can have the successful man. But there's always that in between where it's like, yeah, maybe he has a blue collar job, maybe he doesn't make as much as me, but he's very good at what he does. He maybe wants to aspire to like be something, and maybe I can help him get there.
So what you're describing I'm sorry.
Because let's say, okay, like teachers don't get paid as much as they should. Let's say I'm in a career where I get paid 80 to 100K a year, and let's say my significant other is a teacher. That's a good profession. Sadly, they don't pay as much.
They do not,
now when you're talking in terms of making less than me, there's a loophole, because he's making less than me, but he's in a very good profession, because it tells me he cares about kids. He cares about for the younger generation's future. We share the same values and principles.
So what you're describing I believe are exceptions.
Isn't there saying exception to the rule?
Yeah, I honestly believe what you're describing is the exception, because for the most part,
the majority.
Yeah, like I'm speaking when I asked you how as a boss babe, I'm speaking for the majority. If a woman is making her $80,000, $120,000 a year, she's not going to look at the guy that's making less than her.
And then even in your case, right? Say that so what ends up happening, and I think we can all agree, we naturally, when you care about your partner, you want the best of them, right?
Yeah.
You're going to try to upgrade him. And if he's comfortable where he's at, it's going to cause conflict.
There's going to be a lot of pushback. Yeah.
It's going to cause conflict. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's like being in a relationship where you're a gym goer, and your partner's not. It causes conflict.
No, exactly. Imagine you're in the gym all the time, and they're just sitting on their ass, and you're like, look at me.
It's not even, break it down.
This is where communication needs to come in.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. However, reality, right? Say you guys know I'm a gym head.
Yeah.
My partner is not a gym head.
Mm-hmm.
But here, I cannot blame him for the sacrifices I'm making, because that's solely my decision. But the truth is, while they're not taking care of themselves, the more advanced I get, the more healthier I get.
The disparity just grows.
Separating, because I'm looking at, damn, you're not even trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't unfocus. You have my attention because we're separating. And that's why they say birds of a feather flock together. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same thing success-wise. Because naturally, especially you being a loving person, you're going to want the best for your man. You're going to want to elevate them and help them as much as you can. And when you get that pushback, it's going to not saying you directly,
right,
but it's going to irritate you.
You see, Devon said it really good. He's like, it's all about motivating each other.
Exactly.
And it's true.
So, imagine how can you
what about if you motivate us?
Yeah.
But I'm hearing a lot of buts, but these are excuses. There's always solutions to problems. And Bert said it best.
You're absolutely,
Bert, the owner of Bobo Studios.
You are absolutely right.
And that is because, okay, I also shared a relationship with past relationship, that we didn't always see eye to eye. And that's okay, because some relationships just don't fit well together, respectively. Sometimes you just got to leave. But this is where good communication comes in. I understand all your guys' point of view, and I do agree. I'm not disagreeing. But I'm hearing a lot of excuses and a lot of, but these are obstacles. Okay, what are obstacles meant for? To get over them, you have to overcome them. You have to keep moving forward, because if there's one thing that I'm not going to let life do, it's stop me from what I want. And if I want a healthy, successful relationship, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be in a healthy, successful relationship.
How far are you willing to go?
Down
but I'm also willing to accept when there is also a failed relationship. And I know I say this now, and it may be easy to say this now when emotions are not clouding my judgments. I can only hope that after all the work that I have put myself through to be, healthy and disciplined, and to be just like a successful, healthy adult, that if in the future I am, given this obstacle in my said relationship where we don't see eye to eye, maybe he resents me because I'm more successful or vice versa. If I'm ever put in that situation you guys are putting me through, I can only hope that all the tools and
it
resources that
outlasts.
were given to me, we can overcome it. Because, and if we can't, then sadly, you know,
It
I'm not
ends.
going to sacrifice my values and everything that I
Well,
believe in life to live in a toxic relationship.
But that's why we're saying but, because you're the exception. The
You think about it
common
realistically,
Joe, the
yeah.
common Jane. Well, let's just call it what it is. The common Jane, not even the common Joe, because in society, you will find a man. He can go to a fucking Burger King, see a chick, I'm wifing her up. You will never, barely find a woman who's sustained living, made something for herself,
Right.
take a dude working for the bus boy home.
I mean, it just is.
It's just what
I mean,
it is.
let me-
And
Yeah.
it's-
She'll
mind
take
you,
the busboy home, but that's for
yeah,
fun
that's
for the
it, yeah.
night and get out of
and
here.
then you have to understand it's in our nature.
Right. I
Because
can't speak for everyone. You're right.
yeah.
It's in our nature. And the reason I say it's in our nature, it's in the animal.
Yeah.
They go for the top specimen, the top male, the lion who could protect the pride. They're not dealing with the lion. Well, you know, he has only 2 nails
Yeah.
in his.
Yeah, because like, how good would you feel, right? You have this.
Because again, we're protectors. Men naturally are protectors,
Yeah.
right? We protect. So when a man engages a woman, we're thinking of taking on responsibility. When a woman is with a man, she's thinking about supporting. You establish that.
Uh-huh.
You establish that with everything you were saying. You naturally, women support their men. Men protect their women.
That's a really good point.
So that being said, I don't disagree with you, but because of how we are naturally, that's what comes into terms in play where it's like shit. Now, matter of fact, let's get into it. Let's talk about the double standards now.
No, yeah, because like, dude,
Right.
honestly,
Let's talk about the double standards.
there are definitely women who will, you know, they're boss babes. They will take some guy out of fucking Cheddar's. You know, I think I might be down to go to Cheddar's later. They take some server or
Oh,
whatever,
hungry.
and because like I remember seeing a movie. I think it was like it was how to treat a man, or it was some shit. It was like
Think like a man.
Think Like a Man. There you
Yeah.
go. Think Like a Man. Where like
Oh, the
they-
movie.
Stupid start. Yo,
But, like- Yeah.
I'll let you. That movie caused so much damages to relationships.
Wait,
Did
the
it?
woman who was able to read only men's mind?
No.
No,
It's
That's a different
Think Like
one?
a Man, Act Like a Woman. That's the
Yeah.
name of the movie. Steve
Oh.
Harvey wrote a book in real life.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that book ruined relationships. And yeah, I say it ruined
The
relationships.
bad relationships
so like
or
you
the
know-
healthy ones?
The
Both.
healthy ones. Because here's the thing. If you're going to think like a man, you're going to have to deal with the consequences like a
Oh,
man.
I get you.
And what do we see in society?
Mhm.
Also double standards.
Yeah.
We bail women out all the time
Mhm.
from accountability and responsibility. So if you're thinking like a man and you
Yeah.
fuck up like a man,
you got to take your fucking
gotta
licks
take
like
your,
a man.
Yeah, you got to take your L.
I get you.
You get what I'm saying? That's the double
Yeah.
standards.
So-
and we do that shit all the fucking time.
So in the movie, and you know what? Let me to add to that. So and, you know, this might sound a little crazy. So throughout society or history, men have always bailed women out, right? And I could be wrong. If you disagree, you know, please let me know. Men have bailed women out. There's always something put in place by a man to help a woman out.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that because time has gone long enough, women have now this kind of this social armor, right?
Yep.
That's placed upon them because, you know, naturally men want to protect women. So when women do some shit, you just kind of brush it off because they're a woman, right? And now women have grown wise to this and they're using it to their advantage.
Yeah,
But because
crutching it.
but because they're being so blatant about it now, you know, they're not showing any humility or anything like that nature. Just like, yeah, we do this, we know, yada yada. Now the veil is starting to, you know, reveal itself. Like I think we spoke earlier how women, when there are certain women that post things online that just like they post their L's or like
Yeah.
they show things into the fucking thought process of like toxic
And
women,
it's
whatever.
crazy.
Yeah, and
It's
right.
crazy.
And so
Fucking
I think I said the female mystique is like fading away. All right. So in this movie, you know, we have the classic boss babe, right? She's working this corporate job, she's making all this money, yada yada. You know,
This nigga's in a Honda, beat the
right.
shit.
This nigga's in the fucking beater.
Has no career, no education.
And so like
He's a freelancer.
and so his thing was that he wanted to like own a food truck. Where he was a chef. He wanted to. His big dream was owning a food truck, right?
Oh,
He wanted
man.
to do
And
his
he's
thing.
not a real chef. He's
Yeah.
a street chef. on top of that. Like he
Yeah.
didn't go to no Johnson Wells. He doesn't have
Oh,
a
like
degree.
fancy restaurant.
Like,
Yeah, no,
he cooked.
He taught himself.
He taught
self-taught.
But he's not like
self-taught.
certified.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So like
so just to
that's
show
his
you.
whole thing. And so, you know, she
It's
she-
corporate
yeah.
mongrel.
she was not with it at all. She was like, I remember when they were dating, she wanted
entertained
yeah,
it.
she entertained it because this man was handsome. Like he was a handsome individual.
I
No
got
homo,
you.
but he was handsome. So yeah, and then at some point in the movie, she tries to like get him a job, like doing something that's high earning, but he
He
was
was
like,
trying to upgrade him.
yeah, she tried to upgrade him, but that's not what he wanted for
Yeah.
his life.
Right.
He
Put
wanted
him out
just-
the comfort
yeah.
zone.
He just wanted this. Like he wanted it was simple living. This is what he wanted. And she was like, look, because you're not elevating yourself to
I
where
can't.
I can't be with you, right? And at the end of the movie, like I think he wanted the restaurant actually. Then at the end of the movie, he ends up getting a food truck, right? He's successful in his own bag.
Uh-huh.
She sees him successful in his own bag. She's like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have
But
tried to.
break it up, because what happens in the movie
Yeah.
is after she breaks it, she breaks it off because she runs into an old colleague who reached the status of where she wanted him. So she breaks it off when she meets that gentleman, goes on a date with the colleague that she was once with, and after she basically sits down with him and she realized, yo, this niggas ain't free. He's all about himself.
Yeah.
And I think
And this
it
but
applies
that-
to real life
yeah.
because I'm not a ladies' man. But if there's one thing I know, I fair enough know my way around women very well. Women love to feel free. They love spirited freedom. They love to be in the moment. And when you have somebody of that caliber, it dawns on them. And that's what this guy's character was to her. Because as she's sitting with her old colleague, she's like, oh, this dude's a tool.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's a tool. Yeah, he got all this money. He just became a partner. Cool. But she's dawning on the fact, like, yo, here's a dude.
She didn't
that
make me feel the way that he did.
Yeah, he made me feel like a woman. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of freedom, living life,
And-
enjoying.
And the guy was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like the guy that she left, he was literally
Straight tool.
he was a man written by a woman. He was literally the perfect man,
Yeah.
right? Except he didn't have all the money.
I would have dissed her at
Right?
the end, by the way.
right? But they right.
I
So
get
like
you.
he doesn't get his restaurant, but like you know when she broke up with him, that opened his eyes. And like, you know what, let me step it up.
Yeah.
So he took the step forward and he got a food truck, right? And
Yeah.
so at the end of the movie, she comes to his food truck. She's like, damn, you know, I guess you really are in your bag or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'm in my bag, yada yada. You know, and they make up like that, right? And that's the romantic.
Let's be
ending.
real. Not only they make up, he disses her, and she's like, I'm not leaving. Ladies out there, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, ladies, something. We love that shit. Okay? You want to basically secure the bag with a man? Make that man feel wanted.
Yeah.
Let it be known that you want him. That motherfucker will be as loyal as a dog.
But healthy.
Healthy.
Do it in
Not
a
that,
healthy
not
manner.
that psycho shit.
Yeah, not stalker
Nah,
shit.
Yeah, like
Just
that's
let
just-
him know that
Yeah.
you know I
You
want to be
have
with
to,
you.
because when you let a man know that you want to be with him and you make it known, the world's beating us up.
Yeah.
It reassures us of why we're doing this, why we're breaking ourselves. Like it makes it worth it because it's like, yo, yeah, you know what? Life is fucking me up. But as long as my girl's
I got
smiling,
I got my chick.
I got my girl. And
Yeah.
she wants me. That's
Like
what
look,
matters to
look
us.
at all these fellas out here that look better than
Yeah.
me, make more money than
Yeah,
me.
but she chose me.
Right? Like-
But and here's a double standard about that, right?
Yeah.
Men need to be loved, women need to feel wanted.
You say that often.
And the reason I
Yeah.
say that is because from behavior into structure, men need to be loved. Why? In my opinion, men easily love women unconditionally faster. Not saying women can't love unconditionally. Women love due to the fact.
Yeah, man.
And if you listen to the marriage vows, for better or worse is put in there for a reason. Has
Mhm.
nothing to do with happiness. It's for better.
no, yeah.
or for
Honestly, I
worse.
think men are more prone to lose themselves.
Yeah.
To their relationship. So literally, a man will fall in love with you just because you're a fucking woman.
Yeah.
And
You don't have to do anything. You just have to exist.
And then and then you asked the story of how how a chick got with her man or a woman got with her man. She'd be like, oh, like, you know, I wasn't really into him, but then he just like he did something.
Yeah.
Something happened and I saw him in a different light.
I
And
saw the sun.
And I felt
It
like, because like
opened up my eyes.
one of
I
my
saw the
buddies-
sun. It was so.
one of my buddies, he's married
I was
now.
lyrics.
He's married now. And I think you're gonna sing like a, but he's married now, and he was with his wife. they've been together a total of like 5 or 6 years now. And when he first met her, he asked her out and she turned him down. She turned him down 3 times.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
He asked her out 3 times. Thrice she turned him down. Right? And I guess on the 4th time it worked out. Right? Like think of it like that. Like if a woman were to approach a man and be like, "Hey, let's do this," yada yada, men are more likely. I'm not saying every time, but it's just more likely for them to go like, "Well, I mean, she's pretty, so
you don't have you just have to show up. You
Literally,
just have
you
to
just
show
have to
up.
be a woman."
But as men, listen. I always bring it back to Animal Kingdom. Peacocks. I gotta have the nicest, prettiest fucking feathers. I could be one of those birds in the Amazon going, like, fucking, like I gotta do that shit. But the double standard behind it, right? Going back to women need to feel wanted, because that's all a woman wants. Is the most expensive thing from a man is his time.
Mm-hmm.
Because what would make you jealous more than anything? Your man giving a woman time. Oof. That's your time. The fuck you mean?
Yeah.
You gave her attention.
Yeah,
it's not the attention. It's the fact that you took the time that belongs to me.
Yes. You said it perfectly.
We could have been canoodling. Why are you talking to this broad?
Facts. So that's why I say women need to feel wanted.
And you know what you said?
Men need to be loved.
You said it so perfectly, because a lot of couples, especially like at an early age, we don't know the term or the proper words to explain it, and it's like, "Oh, why, babe? I didn't do anything physical, whatever." The man is always like, "Oh, I didn't do anything physical, like whatever," and it's like, it's the time you gave her your time, because to women, if a man gives me his time, that says a lot, even if they realize it or not. Because
you can't get time back.
Yeah, because look at him. He has something else to do, but he's choosing to do this with me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Also, what?
Oh,
and
wow.
Tell me what you think about this, because there was a TikTok clip of this podcast group. I don't know what it's called, but it's a group of gentlemen, and they're basically saying, in the topic of boss babes, you're in a relationship and you're dating a boss babe. She's very successful. She is the boss in her field, in her work. She comes home, majority of the time she doesn't want to be a boss babe anymore. So that's where, her man comes in, and let's say in the bedroom, he's the one who's like the
regulator.
I guess you could say, and even like maybe in the kitchen, like in the relationship, like more, comforting and intimate, like, and any way you can possibly think of, he's the one who's you want to
know,
like the top.
You could be with a boss babe, right? My theory, my opinion is the only way that's going to work, you got to separate from the fucking world. Because if you were, and gentlemen, I want to say it like this: if your girl is more, success is like beauty; it's in the eye of the beholder. So don't get twisted on you making money thinking that makes you successful. That might make you successful in
the
society,
business world.
But true success is in happiness and peace. Do not get it misconstrued. So to go back to that, right? Where I say, you could be with a boss babe, and she can make more than you, but you have to separate from the world.
Yeah.
Because nothing hurts the modern relationship more than anything than comparison and people being in your business.
Outside influence, yeah.
Because outside influence, hey, you ever heard that saying? Your single friends will keep you single? It works for males and women.
Yeah.
Not just for women. So stop the misogyny. It works for both sides. It's like, when I was in a relationship, my boys were single. Yeah, I step out. But I also had to choose time and place. Because it's an irritant to my relationship. And in certain aspect, it could be disrespectful to my relationship.
Have you ever been in a position or a time frame in your relationship where most of your friends were booed up in a relationship?
All the time. All the time. Through the majority of my life, I was a single friend. And that's why I think I have so much discipline, because I saw the mistakes made.
Yeah.
I saw the neglect. I saw the selfishness. And I was like, well, I'm not dealing with that shit. I'm not dealing with that shit. So, gentlemen, don't feel bad if you're young and you're watching this and you're not booed up. Take notes. Take notes.
Watch your friends.
Watch your friends. Yeah. Don't compare yourself, but take notes and watch and know what you want for yourself. That's the benefit of not having somebody when you're young. You know what I'm saying? Because you might feel like, damn, what am I doing wrong? My friends is booed up and they, they got somebody, and Valentine's Day, I'm eat a Snickers bar by myself and cry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, when you talk about the key goes to relationship, you have to let go. That's the only way it works. And when I say let go of the stigma, bro. Like, let go of that shit, because for us as men, where we fuck up is naturally, again, taking it back to square one. We want to protect. We want to provide.
Yeah.
So when we have a woman who's successful more than us in our eyes, not by society, in our eyes, it deflects us because it worries us. Well, damn, she could do bad all by herself. Does she need me? Does she want me?
She does not. If
That scares us.
If you
as
feel
men.
like, yeah,
that
like,
scares us as
it
men.
really is. It really is a scary thing. If you feel like that your partner doesn't need you, if you just feel like an accessory to their life, and that, speaking
That
about
sucks.
that, yeah,
That's
I
scary.
think I had that feeling with one of my exes once, where essentially she was just like, look, she said outright, I don't need you. I just want you to be with me. Right. And like at the time in my head,
She's a real one.
yeah, in the time in my head, it was like, oh, I get it. Right. That means she really wants to be with me. If she's telling me she doesn't need me, but she wants to be with me. But little did I know how actually fucking terrible that was, because she ended up cheating on me.
Well,
so she really didn't
here's
fucking
the
need me. You know, but what I'm saying is, my issue with Boss Babes, I would like to first start off with saying I don't really have any issues with if you're a woman and you want to be in control of your life. And
Hey,
because
more power to you.
I think that's, if you're strong headed and you have a will of your own, that's great. But if it gets in the way of your relationship, right? Like if you
problematic.
like if you want a man to be a man, unfortunately, you're gonna have to relinquish some of that control. Because the kind of men that you'll find that are okay with being stepped all over, you're not gonna
They're
respect.
not men.
You're not gonna respect
They're
them.
not men.
And
in
and
sense-
it's just the truth.
and again, I'm saying they're not men in the sense of no self-respecting man is going to be okay with that.
They're just not. They're not.
It's not
They're not living up to potential.
psychologically-
Yeah, they're not living
it's
up to
not
potential.
psychologically appropriate in the
Yeah.
sense, because imagine if your man is okay with you walking all over him, if it works for you, it's cool. But
Yeah.
it's a disaster zone.
If it
Because
works, it works.
You gotta have okay. In every relationship, there's a sense of pride.
Yeah.
That pride has to be shared evenly, but it's also position of play. In every relationship, there's a position to play. Both cannot be the captain.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have both trying to be a captain, it is constant friction and it is going to be problematic.
Co-captain?
And
Here's the thing. It can be
you got a co-captain.
It can
but
be
you see
co-captain.
You see co-captain though? Captain? Co-captain. There's still a position to play.
Right.
And that's the problem with Boss Babes.
Yeah. Because they're captain.
Yeah,
They're captain.
You captain.
Yeah.
Okay. You could be captain outside.
Yeah.
And this is why I say you separate that relationship from the world. Outside, you got it. But in this domain where we live,
But here's the thing on top of that. It's like, because then it's like this, like, because they have to live their life outside of the domicile, as captain.
Yep.
People, you see the other red pill, you would see red pill say that they're in their masculine or whatever.
Yep.
Let's just, for the sake of,
Call a spade a
Yeah.
spade.
let's just say that they're in their masculine, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for because there are plenty of boss babes that want to be taken care of, but they want to be taken care of, at least I think, by someone who can suppress their masculine by being more masculine than they're masculine.
Handle me.
Yeah, literally.
That men
and plenty of them will say that
listen,
they want to be handled.
If a chick says, "I need a man who can handle me," she's problematic.
Because like what that means
She's
is
problematic,
she's
bro.
gonna constantly be fucking trying to find holes in your armor to keep
Chinks,
checking you, to keep checking you, to keep checking you.
And that's mind you, it works both ways.
Yeah.
Because boss men here, if you notice, right? And I think we all have that group of friends where they're a power couple, we would call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're a power couple because of their status and whatnot. Notice their behaviors and notice what their fights are about. And that's when you realize and you dig deep. Like, yo, I have friends, they're power couples. And the problem with the boss man is competition, right? You got to be able to turn that on and off with a switch, man. When you get like that with your shorty, it's problematic.
You see, so I know a couple who so me personally, I don't like getting into confrontation or fights, you know. Like I'll have discussion and fights, but I'm not angry or hot-headed. I'm very level-headed, so my fights are more like I'm sharing what I feel and then I want like a reasonable response.
Solution.
The couple that I know, like I've seen them bigger and to me I'm like, oh my god, like I would be scared for them. I'd be like, oh my god, they argue so much almost all the time, but to them
That's
their
normal.
discussions,
Yeah.
they love it. Like they
It's their
love
drive.
it's like they love exchanging their opinions and their ideas. And I didn't know that because me personally, I don't like having discussions like that. That makes me feel like
Attacked
Anxious.
or
Yeah.
like que me están
Anxiety.
ahogando,
No, because like
I'm-
me personally, I would,
know?
I can be vicious when I speak,
Mm.
but not in the way that like is to intentionally hurt. I can just be vicious when I speak.
I don't.
sometimes.
I wouldn't
Right.
say you could be vicious. You could be soulless.
Yeah.
Because
I-
vicious is more of malice behind it. Like vicious, like I'm attacking you.
Yeah.
Versus soulless is like, yo, I could be somebody you do not like.
Just say some shit. And you're like, how could you say this? Like, bro, I mean,
You
it is
provoked
what it
it.
is. Yeah.
I always
Right.
say it like this: I'm not responsible for the person you bring out.
Yeah, like-
you are. So you either bring out the best of me, or you're gonna bring out
Because
the
like
worst of me.
you say
Ooh,
a thing,
period.
you say a thing, and I respond to it, and I'm the one that's fucked up, nigga. You started it.
Right.
I
I'm gonna
finished it.
finish it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you started it.
You
I
want a
finished
problem?
it.
No. But if
Like,
you don't want a
no,
problem,
I'm
you
not
don't.
looking for a problem, but I'm not gonna back down either because you done tried my whole set. I'm not gonna back down. Now we all gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Now everybody
If
gonna
I
be
can't have
upset.
it, you can't
Yeah.
have it.
No, but what I'm but like I said, the thing with like Boss Babes is that it you know, why would you want to, if you already deal with competition in the outside world, why would you want to deal with competition in your
own home.
interpersonal relationships, right? And it's like,
unless that's your like
but right, and the thing is, it's like me, I'm a chill guy, right? I couldn't see myself being with a boss babe in regards to like you know, like having to be in control all the time in regards to like, imagine like, you know, you work at a Fortune 500 company. I'm just gonna be some dude that's just like chilling, like trying to take it like trying to like, enjoy
with the
myself,
flow.
you know. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm more chill, even though I'm an overthinker and I can, you know, get anxious sometimes. I
Don't
you know,
fuck your environment up.
I combat that with just like you know, like things will happen.
Tranquilo.
But
it'll
isn't
happen.
somebody who's go with the flow considered like a red flag? I've seen that on the
No,
internet.
because
to a
I've
certain degree.
Because
Right.
when I
To a
say
certain
go
degree.
with the flow, it's not like I just let things happen. Like I don't try to control things, right?
Okay.
I do my best to get a certain outcome. If it doesn't work out, that's fine.
there's just
you
a lot
know?
of stigma
Yeah.
behind it, so I
yeah.
just want to like
No, yeah, I
clarify
get you.
that.
Like-
Ben, so me and Ben had conflict on this.
Yeah.
Ben has an attitude, and I don't like it. I have to respect it.
There's an attitude.
Because
And his
Yeah.
attitude, it is what it is.
oh,
And
yeah.
that could be a double-edged
it,
sword
no, it is
because
because it can fuck you up.
yeah, because it's like it is what it is. It's not that he's wrong for being like that. It's the delivery behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, one thing we have to acknowledge in these situations is the emotions. The emotion. Listen, I said this. I've been saying this a lot. Emotions is like liquor. It impairs your ability to normally function and make rational decisions. When you're upset, what happens? You make error. When you're dazed and say you're like, oh wow, you're not catching the bullshit.
Yeah.
True.
So emotions is like liquor. It impairs your ability to rationally think. That's why they say when you're really mad with your partner, get the fuck out your feelings and look at what's going wrong, and then you attack it. But if you're gonna attack it with emotions, you're only gonna drive that person crazy and yourself crazy, and you're not gonna find a solution.
That's why I always tell my partner, like, if I'm ever mad, just
Mm.
leave me alone.
Facts.
No,
For
yeah.
even if
facts.
it's just for like 10 minutes, I have to be in
Let
my
me
head. I have to be
decompress.
angry. I gotta decompress, and then once I let it pass, then we can talk about it.
The
Because
number one thing that I always tell myself is don't say anything when you're upset
Mhm.
because you will say some shit just to hurt their feelings, bro,
Yeah.
and you won't mean it later. Like
And I say women are better at
Yeah.
that than men.
my number one thing is don't say something that I won't mean later, and I take it like straight to my heart. You won't ever catch me if I'm arguing with anybody and if it gets heated. I'm not gonna go for low hanging fruit. None of that. It's just
Now I'm gonna hit
So-
you high, and I'm
No,
gonna leave you high
no,
and dry.
because it's gonna be like I'm not gonna because like it's called ad hominem when like instead of attacking the argument you attack the person.
Person,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I don't do ad hominems. If
because it's like, well, you know what? That's why you're fucking up now. Like
Exactly, right? Like,
no,
hey,
no,
like, bro,
keep it on the issue.
we were talking about this. Let's keep it in the
Because
bag.
when the
all right?
argument is starting to be on
Expand
their
that-
side
it
and they're winning the
unfloods.
argument,
Yeah.
and you're like, "What? Let me attack the person and bring the argument down." Like,
At least I don't have to deal with my mother or you know
Yeah,
what I'm
like,
saying?
it's
You
right? You try to
overfloods.
find a way.
Yeah,
And you're not rational anymore. You're menacing. You're
Yeah.
vengeful.
Yeah, because then, literally, then it becomes like who can make who shut up, right? Who can make who shut up from what they're saying?
That's where I walk away.
No, yeah,
Straight up.
I don't
in
argue.
my worst fights, whether it's if you want to see how pissed
Yeah.
I can be, I shut down.
No, same. I do not
And when
argue.
I shut down, everybody's on high alert. Everybody's on high alert. Leave me the fuck alone. Yo, dude, you can ask people who know me from back in the day. My boy Devon's in the comments. I literally will walk away because and again, it's not that the person's weak. If your partner walks away from you, you better understand how much that person loves you. Because the person who don't love you ain't walking away.
They're just gonna keep
They're
it
gonna
going.
fuel
Yeah.
the fire.
Because it's like,
And that's where I feel like the double standard is when it comes to relationships and fighting. Because a lot of times, not in all cases, men, we eat that. We
Yeah.
eat that and we eat that and we eat that. But when the roles are reversed, bro, we get the carnage. How could you say that? How could you do that? Oh, bro, if you loved you, you would never.
no,
But
and
the whole
not
time-
even relationships. Like,
But your friends comment on it too. And
Yeah.
and that's why I say you, especially, it's like, remember when we were talking like, you know, the relationship's over when you involve your family about what the problems going on.
ooh, yeah.
Once you involve your family about the drama going on in your relationship, it is, in my opinion, an end date. You just don't know when it is because you involved parties that have nothing to do with your union.
Because secretly you want like just like
Mhm.
you're
You
like you
want-
said, you're secretly coming to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just want confirmation that you're either doing the right thing or see if you're in the wrong
To back
or
you
in the
up,
right.
you know?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like I say all the time, you got it for sister. Listen, for a relationship to be healthy, you have to separate. But that's the double standard in the sense of against yourself because you're throwing out your resources. You know what I'm saying? And when you're like that, you can get so deep into your relationship that you take so much shit that now you don't seek help because you're embarrassed for what you put up with. And that happens to a lot of us.
And you just have to be willing to take humility. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I guess.
You know,
yeah.
but on that note, yeah, I actually enjoyed
Yeah,
this
pretty
conversation.
good.
Yo, listen, make sure if this is your first time, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, yo. Hit us up on 1424 podcast on Instagram. Let us know how you feeling, yo. We got more videos coming out, you know. We got Nate doing the edits too, yo. She killing it. She killing it. MVP right
Those
now.
last two videos were all on that.
Yeah. Don't get cocky.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Wow.
can find your boy Logic142 at Instagram. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Natalie with 2 I's, 2 E's _01 on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not remembering all that. You can find me at Sir Zaniel Ban. You already know what it is. Sir Zaniel with an X. Daniel with an X.
I'm not
this-
remembering that.
Oh, shit. And this is one thing for sure, two things for certain. All at us.
Yee.
That was fucking great.